When describing how most professionals earning multiple six figures conduct a career search, one of my favorite analogies is inviting my client to picture a small pond stocked with just a few fish, surrounded by thousands of fishermen, all dropping their lines into the pond with the resumes at the end of it, hoping to get the smallest little nibble. Does that feel familiar? Then on the other side of that hedgerow, a large lake is there, filled to the brim with giant juicy fish of every species. I'm located in Missouri, so what we've got are bass. We've got largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, and then we've got crappie beds, white crappie. I don't know what a crappie bed is, but we have a lot of them. We have muskie. I don't know what muskie is either. We've got channel catfish. I do know that. Long-nosed gar. And then we've got sunfish and carp. Those are mostly bones. We throw those back. So back to the lake at the other side of the hedge trees. Around this expansive lake, you barely see just a few fishermen, and every time they cast their reel, they yank it up, and there's a whopper at the end of that line. I bring this up because interesting data from LinkedIn was published recently that really drives this point home. They tout that 117 job applications are submitted to their job board every second. Now, later down the page, when they're touting all of these wonderful numbers, they're also proud of another number. 8 people are hired every minute. So it got me thinking, let's crunch those numbers. 117 people every second of the day apply for a job on the LinkedIn job board. Every minute, then, there are 117 times 60 seconds, or 7,020 job applications submitted every minute. Out of those 7,020 applications submitted each minute, 8 people are hired. Therefore, your chances of getting hired by applying for a posted position on LinkedIn, according to their own numbers, is only 1 out of 877.5 applications. So you have a 0.114% chance of being hired from a LinkedIn posting. That's not 11%, that's 0.11 of 1%. That's roughly 1/10 of 1%. So with all things being equal, then, you would theoretically have to apply for a job using the LinkedIn job board 877.5 times in order to get an offer that you accept. And that begs the question for you then, how many times in the last month have you applied for a job online using LinkedIn? So we keep a lot of data on both our clients and our prospective clients, and right about 70% of those professionals that explore working with us submit less than 5 applications per month before they work with us. And at that rate, it would take that majority group of 70%, about 176 months to apply for enough roles to get an acceptable position. That's 14.67 years. Now, I said with all things being equal, but all things are not equal. This statistic of 1 job for every 877.5 applications includes all posted positions for all levels, not just 6-figure positions, much less roles earning multiple 6 figures. So anyone that spent time on the LinkedIn's job board knows that a multiple 6-figure position is a very rare find. It's like a little hidden gem in this jungle of, rocks, rock jungle, urban jungle. I don't know. For those lucky enough to find one that pays multiple 6 figures on LinkedIn, there's a good chance that the hiring manager has already picked out the winning candidate, and they're just posting it online to fulfill EEOC laws or their own company's guidelines. And yes, that's a thing. So if you're still submitting applications for roles you find on the LinkedIn job boards, other than fulfilling the definition of insanity, may I ask why? Actually, I don't have to ask why. I know why. because you don't know what else to do. Applying online was advertised to us in Super Bowl commercials since before the dot-com bust. And before our clients engage with us, they really only know how to do three things. They apply online, usually on LinkedIn job boards or the job boards of the company itself. Or they try to hunt down recruiters, either on LinkedIn or recruiters that they've talked with in the past. And they also bug their friends and old colleagues, asking them if they know anybody who's hiring. Does that sound familiar? And so I'll let you in on the very best way to hunt for a job at your level. I'm assuming multiple six figures. I've discovered, this is my 20th year doing this, so I've discovered that it's really a combination of three things. And our three-pronged approach is, number one, proactively contact the person that would be your boss in a company that you would want to work for. Then rinse and repeat that, and really continue doing that same thing at scale. We use some automation. There's a lot of automation out there, but there's a lot of strategy and specific implementation to make it not feel like spam, make it not feel like a bot. A lot of trial and error over the past many, many years. Okay, so number two, we have them reach out to recruiters that primarily deal with executive level talent in the top 25 recruiting firms in the career industry. Now, I will tell you, since the pandemic is over, or has been over, let's just assume that it's over, since then, I am not seeing a lot of recruiters have a lot of opportunities. Our clients are just not, they reach out and recruiters will talk to them a lot, but they always say, I don't have anything right now, but we'll put your information in the database and we'll keep you on file, right? I'll let you know if we find anything. So instead, number three, it's reaching out proactively to operating partners and managing partners within private equity firms. Now, it can take some time to break into those PE firms because private equity is very much a closed ecosystem. They don't accept a lot of connections from people they don't know. However, once you get a few of them, 3, 4, 5 of them, to say yes to a connection request, then you will find that kind of the floodgates open. More people within private equity will accept your connections. And if you have any connections within private equity, use those to the fullest extent. Look for people who are a second level connection so that you've got that PE person that that in between you and someone else. So these days, it's easiest to do all of these three activities using LinkedIn connection requests, followed by intermittent direct messages to those people that have accepted your request. So it may sound like I'm giving away the farm, but honestly, there's so much that's necessary prior to that outreach and so many details and nuances in implementing those strategies. I think it would be a difficult task to do it on your own successfully. For instance, before you can launch an effective search, you have to have a LinkedIn profile that reads like a sales page. I like to think of it as a billboard. And you're the product that it's selling. And it's important to have plenty of achievements on your profile that you can quantify. Having great numbers in your achievements positions you as a standalone investment with a personal ROI. I think my clients are sick of hearing that from me. You are a standalone investment with a personal ROI. You're not a candidate. And this enables you to get a job created for you in good economies and in bad. I think in the last 3.5 years, we've had 92% of our clients get jobs created for them. So over 9 times out of 10, which is nice. In fact, when we talk about good economies and bad, the worse the economy, the better this strategy works. Because in bad times, companies need somebody to come in and positively impact either their top or bottom lines, especially when the margins are starting to get really thin. And before you do all of that, you need to hone in on all of the aspects of the companies and the leaders that you want to follow, because you don't want to write a resume or a LinkedIn profile without knowing exactly who you're writing it to, who you're writing it for. So it's important to determine the industry, the size company, which most people don't think of. And in size company, you could be looking at annual revenue or number of people or both. And relatively speaking, you're going to want to know a geographic location. Although remote work is still very popular with professionals making multiple six figures right now. Most of all, though, you have to decide on one job title to write the content for. Gone are the days that you can have 3 or 4 different resumes for different jobs, because no one looks at resumes anymore. Nearly everyone, all of the eyeballs that are going to look at your content are going to be on LinkedIn. You have to choose one. You can't have 3 LinkedIns. Please don't do that. All right. So as far as a job title, you don't have to put that job title anywhere on the LinkedIn profile, but you do need to decide what title to go after so that you can have an idea of the job title of your next boss. You got to focus on that. You can have a combination of these factors in mind for your first choice and then adjust them slightly for a second choice and so on. But a job title is important because you need to be able to take each of your accomplishments and then frame them in a way that attracts that perfect company and that perfect decision maker. And I'm talking both demographics and psychographics. So your accomplishments can be positioned, each of them can probably be positioned in a dozen different ways, depending on what you want to do next. So having clarity of that specific position to go after is key to the success of your search. And knowing that goal and creating your personal brand relative to that goal will make you infinitely more attractive to the right people. And it's also going to have the effect of repelling the wrong people, which is equally important. And that's just the first step. There's a series of steps to take in order to create an executive job search, at least one that's effective. And you're welcome to try it on your own. Take that information. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. And if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means that you haven't gone through all of the trial and error and split testing that we've done over the past years. So if you want to save time, like months of time, and a lot of wasted effort, you can also reach out to me and my team, and yes, here's where the pitch comes, and really explore partnering with us here at CRC. Because our initial consultations are reserved for people like you that want to explore working with us. It doesn't cost you anything, and at the very least, we can help you uncover some of the challenges that are keeping you from being successful in your search. And beyond that diagnosis, you'll also leave the initial consultation being inspired and having a renewed excitement about where your career can take you. We're not cheap, but it's really interesting. Like I said, we keep a lot of data points. And since 2016, we have had a 100% winning streak of always paying for ourselves, especially when you or our clients engage in my negotiation assistance, because that's my favorite part and that's what I do best. So my contact information is below, and we look forward to hearing from you. I'm Tammy Kabell with Career Resume Consulting. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I will talk to you very soon. Bye now.